I used to deliver food part-time while in college, mostly during the late-night shift, because it paid better and there were fewer drivers on the road. And one night I got an order around 11:45 p.m. from a place just outside the city limits, near the edge of an older wooded suburb that always gave off a weird vibe. Mostly empty lots and half-finished homes, surrounded by tangled trees and crooked fences. But I didn't think much of it, until I got closer to the address and realized the GPS was directing me down a side road I had never noticed before, a narrow, cracked driveway that led to a single decrepit house at the very end, with no porch, light, no visible address, and the front windows boarded from the inside like someone didn't want to be seen. And I double-checked the receipt to make sure it was right. And it was. Same house number, same street. So I got out of the car with the bag of food and walked slowly up the creaking wooden steps, every part of me screaming to turn around. But I rang the doorbell anyway, which let out this awful, distorted chime like it hadn't worked right in. Years and a few seconds later, the door cracked open. Not fully, just enough for a sliver of darkness to leak through, and I saw nothing but a hand reach out, pale and long-fingered with dirt under the nails, shaking ever so slightly as it grabbed the bag from my hands without a word. No eye contact, no thank you. And then the door slammed shut with such force it made the porch rattle. And that would have been weird enough, but when I got back in my car and went to mark the delivery as completed, the app glitched and flashed red with an error that said, "Invalid address." And when I refreshed the screen, the entire order had vanished like it never existed. No name, no payment, no tip, nothing. And I sat there staring at my screen in disbelief. And when I looked up, I realized all the lights inside the house were now on, glowing this sickly yellow through the cracks in the boarded windows. And I could swear I saw a face watching me through one of the gaps, mouth moving like it was whispering something. But no sound, just the wind, and I didn't wait to figure it out. I drove off fast. But the creepy part is that when I told another delivery guy about it later that week, his face went pale, and he told me there's no house at that location anymore, that it had burned down years ago, and all that's left now is an empty lot surrounded by chain-link fence. And yet somehow, my GPS had taken me there, the app had given me an order, and something, had taken that food. It was pouring rain when I accepted the delivery. One of those nights where the streets shimmer like mirrors and everything feels a little quieter than it should, the kind of silence that makes your skin crawl. And the address was in an old part of town I didn't usually go to, a rundown neighborhood where most of the houses looked abandoned or halfway there. But I needed the extra cash, so I took it, following the GPS down a maze of pothole-filled back roads until I reached a sagging two-story house with all the lights off except a dull blue glow flickering from a basement window. And when I parked and checked the app, it had a special instruction typed in bold, "Do not knock. Leave food at basement door around the back." And that alone gave me pause, because who orders food to a basement, especially during a storm? But I figured maybe it was someone renting a room or trying not to wake up family upstairs. So I grabbed the bag and walked around the side of the house, the mud sucking at my shoes as I followed the slope down to the rear, where, sure enough, a rusted metal door sat nestled into the foundation, half hidden by vines and slick with rain. And just as I was about to set the food down, I heard something on the other side, not footsteps, but a strange sliding sound, like someone dragging a chair slowly across concrete, and then a soft knock from inside, like they were waiting for me, like they knew I was standing there even though I hadn't made a sound yet. And against my better judgment, I leaned in closer, heart pounding. And that's when I noticed the small window beside the door was smeared with handprints. Dozens of them, like someone had been slapping the glass repeatedly with wet palms. And then, so fast I didn't have time to react, a face slammed up against the window from the inside, pale and bruised with bloodshot eyes wide open, staring right at me, mouth moving like it was trying to scream, but no sound came out. And I stumbled back, slipping in the mud, dropping the bag. And just as I scrambled to my feet, I saw a second face appear behind the first, this one smiling, teeth too white and too wide. And that face slowly turned toward the first like it was savoring the fear. and I didn't wait for anything else. I ran to my car, soaked and shaking, peeled off down the street without looking back, and when I reported the incident to the app, they responded saying the account had been deactivated weeks earlier due to suspicious activity. And when I tried to find the address again on the map, it was just a blank lot marked no access. And to this day, I don't know if the first face I saw was asking for help or trying to warn me not to deliver to that door in the first place. It was a little past 1 a.m. when the order came in. Just a small meal, single item, no drink, no tip yet. But the address was barely 10 minutes from my location, so I accepted it and headed out. Tired but glad to end the shift with something easy, and I remember the streets being eerily empty. The kind of quiet that only happens deep in the night, when even the stray cats vanish and every traffic light blinks on yellow just for you. And when I reached the destination, it was a squat, one-story house tucked at the end of a cul-de-sac, front yard unkempt, no cars in the driveway and no lights on inside. And I double-checked the number on the mailbox to be sure, because the whole place looked uninhabited, like no one had lived there for years. But the app said leave at door, so I did just that, snapped the photo, marked it delivered, and walked back to my car, feeling vaguely uneasy. And that's when I saw the front door open behind me, but not fully, just a crack, wide enough for someone to peek through, though I couldn't see anyone. Just shadows stretching strangely across the floor, like something stood just beyond the light. And then came the softest voice I've ever heard, drifting out into the still air. "Thank you," it said, slow and deliberate, and I nearly jumped out of my skin, spun around to see who it was, but the door had already shut again, like it had never opened, and I got back into my car fast, locking the doors, heart thudding, and tried to shake it off, figuring it was just a weird customer, no big deal. But then I started to drive and something didn't feel right, like the cabin of my car was too cold, too quiet, even with the heater on, and I adjusted the rearview mirror out of instinct. And I swear to God I saw someone sitting in my back seat, just for a split second, not moving, not breathing. Their head tilted like they were watching me, pale face and long black hair hanging wet over their shoulders, and I gasped, whipped around. But no one was there, nothing on the seat, and I tried to calm myself down, blaming exhaustion or stress, but then the app pinged again. A new order coming through, and when I looked at the name, it was the same as the last delivery. Same initials, same creepy profile photo I hadn't noticed before, just a grainy image of someone smiling in the dark. And the address wasn't to a new location. It was mine, my actual home address, complete with apartment number, and underneath the order it just said, "Bring it back, you forgot something." And right then, in the mirror again, I saw the faintest breath fog the back window, even though no one was there, and the voice whispered once more, this time from inside the car. "I didn't say you could leave."